Hey guys, Algebra 2 Part 2 coming at you. We've actually already done this. So you should know how to do the notes. If you know how to do the notes, you can turn me off. If you don't, please follow along. Know how to do this because this is what we're working on for the rest of the school year. So we are working on roots. We've been doing this. This is called my index. My index is telling me how many times a number needs to be multiplied by itself to get to the center number. For example, the third root of 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So when I'm asking for the third root of 8, the answer is 2. Again, this is something we've gone over. The reason I'm bringing up the index is because this number is telling us how many times do I need it to see that before I get to take it out of the root number. So in our notes, it says when a number has 2 real roots, the positive root is called the principal. Write that in. So the principal root is the positive root. Remember, 2 times 2 is 4. But -2 times -2 is also 4. So when we're working with square roots, we could have 2 negative numbers. We're not going to talk about that today, and that's okay. I just want to bring it up so that it's in the back of your mind when we work with it later. We're going to move on to the actual math, because you know I love math. I've been missing it, and you. We are not doing number 1, which is the third root of -8. We're going to do that next week. We're going to work with negatives next week. So this week, all we're doing is we are finding the square root, the cube root, the fourth root. You already know how to do that. So square root of 100. Now, if there is not an index there, that means that the index is actually 2. Always. If you don't see a number there, then it's actually a 2. So what number multiplied by itself is the square root of 100? We know that. We can put it in a calculator, but that should be something that you know. 10 times 10 is 100. So the square root of 100 is 10. Let's look at number 3. I have 2 times the fourth root of 81. Now, the fourth root of 81. I know that because I'm a big nerd, but most people in the real world don't know that. So how are we going to find it? Well, we're going to prime factor it. You guys are going to see prime factorization nonstop for the next 8 weeks. I know, you're super excited. So let's prime factor 81. I'm just going to leave it right there. Prime factor of 81. I know, so 81 is an odd number, which means I can't divide it by 2. So the next number that I'm going to try to divide it by is 3. And I know that I can divide 81 by 3. So 81 divided by 3 is 27. 27, again, not an even number. So let's divide it by 3 again. 27 divided by 3 is 9. And then I have 3 times 3. So this is called prime factorization, when I divide a number up into prime numbers. So how many numbers do I need to multiply by itself to get to 81? I know that I need 4 because of my index. So I'm going to circle groups of 4. You guys, I'm losing my mind over here. All right, circle groups of 4. So I have 4 3s. So that means that that gets to come outside of my radical, which means that I have 2 times the fourth root of 81. We know that the fourth root of 81 is 3. So this really becomes 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. That's it. That's all we're doing. We are breaking it down into its prime factorization, circling the right number, and we know the right number by that index. If there's something outside, it just gets multiplied. You guys know how to do multiplication. Let's look at number 4. So number 4 includes variables. Now, there's a pattern because there's always a pattern in math. but I'm gonna let you find the pattern. Until then, we're just gonna keep writing stuff down. You might get annoyed with it, but it's not hard, I promise you. I have 6 times the square root. Since there is not a number there, that means it's a 2. The square root of 4 x squared y to the 5th. So we're going to break this down. Ready? 4 breaks down into 2 and 2. X squared is 2 x's, and y to the 5th means there's 5 of them. Now, how many do I need in a group in order to break it out of jail? I need 2. So I'm just going to circle groups of 2. Anything that's circled gets to come out of jail. I have a 6 that was already there times 2 because that's circled. X, there's 1 x there. Y, but I have 2 groups of y, which means it's squared. Whatever didn't get broken out of jail stays under the radical, and that's my 1y. That's it. I can rewrite this as 12xy squared. You should be able to see that it's 12xy squared, but you're not wrong if you leave it at 6 times 2. All right? So what we're going to do is we are always going to prime factor. We are always going to write down our x or y or z, whatever our variable is. Circle the number that's in the index. If you don't see one, that means it's a 2. Anything that gets circled gets to get out of jail. Anything that's not circled stays in jail. So let's look at number 5. I have the cube root of a cubed b to the 6th. So how many do I need to break it out of jail? I need 3. My index always tells me that. For my variables, I'm just writing down how many there are. There are 3 a's. There are 6 b's. And now I'm going to circle groups of 3 because that's my index. Whatever got circled gets to come out. Whatever doesn't get circled stays in jail. So I have 3 A's, that means A comes out. I have a B, and I have 2 groups of B. So that means it has to be squared. And that's my answer. It's that simple. We're circling groups. Whatever gets circled gets to come out of jail. Whatever doesn't get circled stays in jail. Always make sure you prime factor any number. So we have 2 more left to do. Do them on your own and then check your answers. If you don't understand what's going on, I'll keep explaining it, of course. And I'm always here if you have questions. And in the contact folder in Schoology, it tells you how to contact me if you have any questions on this. I'm assuming since we went over it, you all know what you're doing. You're all amazing. I'm not worried about it. All right, so number 6. I have the 4th root of x to the 7th, y to the 8th. So I'm going to write down 7 x's and 8 y's in a different color because it makes me happy. And how many am I going to circle in a group? 4. That number tells me how many I'm circling. So groups of 4. I only have 3 x's left, which means I can't circle them. So my answer, I have x, I have y, I have 2 groups of y, which means it's going to be squared. And then I have the 4th root. Sorry, you guys know my handwriting's not the best. And then I have 3 x's, or x cubed. Those 3 x's did not get circled. They stayed in jail. Everything else broke out of jail. One more question left. This one includes numbers and letters. So number 7 is the cube root of 54 n to the 8th. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime factor 54. 54 is an even number, so I know that it's divisible by 2. 27 is not, but I do know that it's divisible by 3. Check your factor sheet that's loaded up onto the website if you need it. So, oops, let me finish up with the ends first. I need 8 ends. All right, to break it out of jail, I need 3. So anything that's in a group of 3 gets to come out of jail. Anything that's not stays in jail. So I have those. I have those. So I have 3 because I have a group of 3. N, but I had 2 groups of n. So it's n squared. Oops, n squared, you guys. It's a long day. N squared. And then this is my cube root. What's left over? A 2 and 2 n's or n squared. That's it. All right, so I'm going to post another video for you to watch. Again, we've already done all of this. So I've no doubt you're amazing. You already know what you're doing. Watch the other video, do your homework, and I miss you, and have a great day.